Hi everyone, my name is Natalie. Today I'm here to talk to you about the new age of multiliteracy. Multiliteracy refers to making meaning from the different interaction of different modes of communication, such as print, text, sound, design or layout, or signs and symbols, image and sound. According to the New London Group in 1996, cited in Walsh 2006, the multimodal forms of communication include linguistic or textual, visual or graphical, musical or audio, spatial and gestural. When you look at anything you see on YouTube, or when you look at my podcast today, you'll be reading my body language and posture. You'll be listening to the language I use and the tone of voice, and also reading anything that you might see in the background around me that can give you any clues to add further meaning to my podcast. In the primary classroom today, I guess I've seen teachers try to teach multiliteracy by using a learning centre approach, such as literacy groups where some students will use the computer doing some sort of interactive activity. Some students will be looking at reading comprehension. Some might be working with a teacher on grammar, and some might be extracting meaning or doing illustrations of some kind. According to Cope and Calantis, who we looked at last semester, they state the urgency of the need to be multiliterate, as the multimodal relations between different meaning-making processes that are now so critical in media texts and the text of electronic media. I believe that as books may become used less and less in the future, it's really important for our students to be able to know if they're using the internet to research, which is a reliable resource, and certainly not to believe everything that they read. I guess with internet sites it's really difficult. Students need to work out who the author is, whether the article is processed or presented by a particular government body or brand, and where the article was written, I guess. I remember Chris Walsh was talking about in a lecture, he referred to Free Body and Luke's 4 resources model to just deconstruct, construct and reconstruct texts, exploring different perspectives about personal, local and global issues, and he used the Chinese immigration as an example. I think this is a good way to really get students engaged in writing and literacy, and feel like they have the power to make change and be part of some important literacy making. The new multiliteracy approach is vastly different from the way my mother was taught, for example. I know that she was taught grammar quite explicitly, being taught one particular rule per week over and over again, and then being assessed on that perhaps at the end of the month. I believe I wasn't taught grammar anywhere near as well as she was, and would have liked to have done a little bit more on that. So I think it's really important that students still do have a good grounding in the English language in terms of spelling and grammar. So what will the future hold for literacy? According to Chris Walsh, again, literacy as a social practice is embedded in situational contexts of use that will determine both their cultural significance and impact upon schools. Excuse me. It's really important these days for teachers to be able to update their knowledge of new technologies and to embrace this and try and learn as much as they can, so they can use it in their classrooms, and also to embrace the fact that some students will, or a lot of students may know more than us, and to really use them in the classroom to our advantage. Students' needs in a multiliteracy world, I've just made a list of these. They need to be exposed to text from a variety of sources, such as written text, spoken, audio and visual imagery. They need to be excited by the ways which text can be presented and have opportunity to present their own text using all of these methods in the form of a digital portfolio of work, which I know some schools are doing now. They need to be taught grammar thoroughly while at primary school, and for this to be reinforced at secondary, to develop handwriting, reading and speaking skills, and to be taught how to write and speak appropriately to an audience. I know that Deb has mentioned in one of her lectures that our students that we teach are likely to have about 15 changes of employment throughout their life. That's something that's really stuck with me in my thoughts, and I think we need to teach our kids to be able to write efficiently and to speak efficiently to an audience, and to use drama and body language to their advantage for when they go for different sorts of interviews, and to enable them to work well with others, to adequately prepare them for the multiple changes of employment throughout their life. They need to become designers. I think lots of students will be involved in designing websites and things like that, and so they need to be taught efficiently the rules of design, and to be able to appreciate good design that they see on the web, in order to develop their own design skills. I don't think we should allow them to willy-nilly go ahead and do this without really learning some skill. We need to prepare our students for new forms, or these new forms of social participation, by allowing them to understand the benefits and dangers, and to not allow this a form of communication to be greater than that of their social participation. They also need to be IT literate and to embrace the ever-changing digital world, and therefore being adaptable to change. Finally, we can be sure that the word and the books are here to stay. We just need to be strong educators and embrace the changing world, and embrace the new technology. Thanks for listening. See ya.